Okay, do we have anybody? Can I see, Renat, can I see people? Oh yeah, I can see about 20 people connecting right now. All right, we are just about to start right now. This is 2 o'clock Moscow time. My name is Tim with Escort Monitoring Systems out of Russia. Today we are hosting a meetup about headaches of the integrators around the world in current crisis, pandemic situation, as you may say. And here we have 4 professional integrators from different countries. Let's start with Mr. Sanjay. Could you please tell us about yourself? Just a few words.
Hello everybody, my name is Sanjay. I am from India and I represent my company Qualcomm.
That's great.
So basically we are into this GPS tracking system telematics for last 15 years. And
Perfect, thank you. Eric, could you please tell us about yourself? Where are you from and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Eric Verkel. Good afternoon, by the way. I'm originally from the Netherlands, but based in Congo Brazzaville. And we are in GPS tracking since mid of 2016 and supplying to most of the transporters and companies in oil and gas here in Congo.
That's great. Thank you very much. Tony, you are our European partner. Could you please tell us about yourself?
Hello, I'm Tony Murgulescu. I'm from Romania. I'm representing EasyTrack Monitoring. We are in this business from 2011, and we install a lot of equipment, including fuel sensors from Escort, and I'm glad to be here together with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Samir, we know you quite well from as a violin partner. Could you please tell us about yourself a bit?
Hi, everybody. I'm Samir Obeid, General Manager of TrackLink in Jordan in the Middle East. We've been in this business since 2005.
Quite a lot of time. Quite a lot of time. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, long story short, let me ask you a question. Samir, since we finished with you, let's start with you now. I think it would not be wrong to assume that we are all working in remote mode now. Everybody is from the house. Which of your expectations about this format have been met and which fears have been confirmed? What are the first positive and negative results in your company?
In TrackLink, personally, I was following the news way before it hit us in Jordan. In Jordan, the first confirmed case was in the 4th week of February, and it took around 12 days to see another case. But I was monitoring the expansion and the spread of this virus. So I was preparing my company. I was anticipating that we will be in Jordan, will be locked down, and we have to work from remotely. So we mobilized our people, we trained them to take care of themselves, and we made sure that the infrastructure for them to be working remotely is there. We tested it, and by the order of the lockdown, which came on the 18th of March, we were ready to move to and work from our homes. What I see personally, this is the first time, at least in our time life, that this situation is affecting all over the world. There is no precedent about this issue. Us normal people, we have to follow the rules and regulations. The ripple effect of this, I see it now, it's not really clear. In Jordan, we monitor the operations. 70% of our clients, or the number of vehicles that is connected to our platform, we have around 22,000 units working. 70% are off since the 18th of March. The other 30% are the sectors that are authorized by the government to work, or they have to work, which is I'm sure it's everywhere in the world, the food chain, the supporting the logistics of making sure the necessities are there in the markets for people to grab.
70% off. This is a big number.
70% is off.
Yeah. Tony, let me ask you the same question. You know, I will repeat this one more time. I think it wouldn't be wrong to assume that all of us in remote mode. Which of your expectations about this format have been met, and which fears have been confirmed? What are the first positive and negative results for your company?
It's very hard to think of positive things right now. Yeah, I can just say that we have an impact because, okay, in Romania, basically, there are companies that closed. They were forced to close, like restaurants and coffee shops and so on. So they have to close. But unfortunately, a lot of factories also closed down. And that had an impact on all this transport sector. So a lot of companies with a big number of trucks are now in break. So everybody stays home. Also here, the distribution still works, but all the others for now are on break. This automatically put a pressure on our clients and on us, because everybody wants to suspend the activities, not to pay anything for, until all the situation unlocks. We have a lot of projects that were ongoing, or we were negotiating to start some new projects. Everything is on hold. So right now it's not a very, very interesting moment. So yeah, everything is more or less blocked. We are lucky that if we have something like an intervention or to install some new equipment, we can do this. So basically, we are allowed. We prepare some papers. Okay, we have to go to that client, and we can do this. So there are companies that were forced, but our company is not one of them. So we are not in the another company with big crowds of people, so you can go to one vehicle and install your GPS without contact with some others. So then it's okay, but still we need some special paper to do this. So it's kind of complicated. It's an extra stress because of it.
Very true. We agree. We agree. And then at least you have this paper. But I had a conversation with Eric yesterday. And I would like to ask you, Eric, with this remote mode of operation, what are your fears and what expectations have been met, and what are the positive and negative impacts you have felt on your company?
Well, the good news is that we just received our first exemption this morning to drive.
Oh, you did?
So one of our technicians is now testing what will happen if he will be stopped and if he really can get past the police. But here it's a little bit difficult. We are locked down from the 1st of April until the end of April. Lots of people live here in an informal economy, so they have to live from day to day. They don't have money to buy food for a whole month. They don't have ways to store their supplies. So still people are going out. Markets are still crowded when they are open. Apparently now they will close for 2 days a week to do some disinfection. But anyhow, it's a difficult situation here. Regulations are not very clear to nobody, and whatever is happening today, tomorrow they might change again. So we will see. I don't see any opportunity, positive side effects of this right now.
Yes.
Well, maybe we'll be able to see it in the future. We'll see.
Let's see. We are doing a little bit more testing and fine tuning on our technical part for hardware and software. So maybe that will help us a little bit more to offer better solutions afterwards. And also we see that what I see on my network is that also about 70% is not moving at all at this moment. So maximum is around 30% of the transporters that is doing transport, and all the rest is stopped.
Yeah.
I see. Mr. Sanjay, we know what's going on in India. There is a full lockdown, but we would like you to tell us a bit more from the perspective of your company. How do you feel the impact of this lockdown, and do you have any positive side effects out of this?
No, right now I think it is similar to what other countries are facing. Right? It's a complete lockdown. Today morning, our Prime Minister has extended it to 3rd May. So another 20 days in the we are into complete lockdown. But as Mr. Eric said, people are going around, moving around in the market. The same things are going around. As for the business is concerned, we were lucky that initially we had some project which we started before lockdown. So yes, that has been paused or stopped for a while. But I don't know. I have a very optimistic feeling that once the lockdown is over, there will be a demand in the market. Maybe there will be a crunch in the terms of payment or money. So what I am looking at is like there will be a demand because we are talking to our existing customers. We are in touch with them. We are trying to add new reports on Vylon. We are trying to see the last 6 months report. We are trying to explain them. No, we are trying to see what additional things we can give them on the Vylon at the same cost. Like we have added productivity of the vehicle, utilization of the vehicle. All these features we have activated on Vylon without any cost. Okay. And we have also increased the storage capacity from 3 months to 1 year in Vylon. We are trying to engage the customers to keep in touch with them. We know the payment time will be, nobody is using right now. 70 or 80% vehicle, as everybody told, are on the whole mode. Nobody is using it. But still, we are trying to analyze the old data, and we are trying to talk to the customer and tell them this is the percentage of the vehicle you have utilized, and how we can analyze, and in future we can, because once the lockdown is over, the main concern would be like the company will try to use more telematics or IoT solution to improve their production. So what we are trying to do is last 6 month data we are trying to analyze with them so that we can understand how much percentage of actual productivity they have achieved. So it will help both of us. Like we can tell, okay, we can add some new features in our software or hardware as per their requirement, or they can understand how much. Like I basically work with mining and construction companies. In construction field, there are 20 to 15% the vehicles are misused or underutilized. This happens everywhere in India, basically every site. So we are trying to analyze those data, and we are trying to tell this customer that this 15% of the vehicle you can utilize in some other way or some other site. So this way, just trying to engage the customer. So keep the thing moving, because everybody is working from home. So that is the only way we can. Agreed. But I am hopeful that once the lockdown is over, maybe it will take another 1 month down to settle down, but things will move.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. Thank you for very optimistic thoughts. Because something we found out in Russia in times of this kind of crisis, we tend to see the situation when construction and transportation companies are actually beginning to budget more carefully and more willing to invest in various types of monitoring. After all, it would seem that more people of remote work means more transportation, delivery of food, and even medicines. So so it should be more telematics services should be involved. Perhaps that's our naive logic, but we also see that agricultural, I mean, it's a spring now, right? And we have agricultural sector that has to work. And basically, the question for you guys, and perhaps we can start with Tony this time. What costs are being cut by your end users, and what is in opposite getting more business?
So the end users, for sure. So in Romania, they can send people in a forced leave. Not firing them, but they are put on, let's call it, on forced vacation, and this forced vacation is paid by the state, and they receive a limited number of money. So there are some that already applied for this thing, and then of course they want to shut down as much as possible to decrease cost. As I already told you, we felt this directly, that they were thinking, okay, let's go to a minimum package for GPS, for example. As vehicles are not moving, they say, oh, okay, I don't need roaming cost. I don't need fuel sensors. I don't need, so they say, okay, minimum is okay. I don't need extended history. It's okay 1 month, because anyhow, my vehicle. So they are thinking in optimizing everything and cutting the cost as much as possible. So yeah, we also have some clients that okay, they see this as an opportunity, as the vehicles are at home. Now they ask, okay, we had problem with some fuel sensor on these 2 trucks. Can you come and have a look? So there is an opportunity for maintenance, of course, as the vehicles are all home. But as I told you, it's not a big opportunity for new businesses. So you can work together with your existing ones, but a lot of discussions that we had with potential clients, we are keep discussing, but no, everybody's afraid of taking a decision right now. So they still say, it's the beginning. I don't know what will happen in the future. Maybe the economy will go down. Okay, let's wait a little. So we keep having delays for new businesses. So for the ongoing business, this is maintenance and so on. So we have what to work. But for new things, everything it's kind of frozen. So it's nothing happening.
Thank you, Tony. Samir, let me ask you the same questions. What kind of optimization do you see from the side of the end users? What do they cut, and in opposite, do they increase something?
To tell you the truth, I cannot tell by now, because as I told you, most of our clients are putting on hold. Their main concern now is how to make sure that there is a cash flow at them to keep their business running. So we had some occasional, during this 4 months lockdown, people are asking for a service, but in low numbers. It does not stand up to be a good project that after lockdown we will be receiving. As I said, most of the companies, to us as well, we are very curious of how we are going to secure our cash flow, getting paid. As Mr. Sanjay said, it will be a crunch time. Honestly, we don't see anything viable or in good numbers until this lockdown is lifted. There will be operations, there will be people moving, but I don't know if people will be willing to invest in extra services or reports or accessories On the contrary, I see them, as Tony said, they will be going back to the basics for a period of time until they secure a good ground to build on later. Before the lockdown, there was almost a week of universities and schools were locked down before the businesses. So many of my clients are the companies who transport schools or university students. And they ask us to stop the service because they will be stopped for a period they don't know. And because of the lockdown of the land borders, Jordan is adjacent to Saudi. And this season, it's the Umrah, and after 2 months is the Hajj season, which is an excellent season for the tourist transportation business for the land in Jordan, in my country. It generates about 40% of the total year within these 3 months. Wow. These companies, their buses are stopped. And we received requests from those people. We don't need the service. The borders are locked down. We cannot move. And we don't know when it's going to be open. So I can tell you about the impacts I am seeing now, but foresee the future, we always be optimistic, but when and how long it was going to take to the market to rebuild itself. In our country, the stimulus packages are not clear for now. Tony said the state vacation will be paid by the state. In Jordan, it is not the case. We were forced to, or every company was forced to give the salary of March in full. This is by law. Well, actually, we paid it even before the government enforced it. And they gave the companies an exemption. If you are not from the sector that you are allowed to work, you are entitled to pay 50% of the employee's salary. In our company, and many like us took a decision not to use this exemption, because there has to be some issues, or you have to, it's a community now, it's a collaboration of everybody. If I cut 50% of my employee's salary, the effect will be disaster for them. Many of us or the employees are living on a salary by salary basis. Even if you have some savings put around, you cannot expect it to last very long. I'm talking about the general mass people, not the 1 or 2%. Tim.
Yes.
The future, we are too early to judge on the future. Now, for me, for companies in Jordan, and I'm sure it's in many countries, they are now seeing tools to make sure they have enough cash to sustain for at least 6 months. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult.
Understood. Thank you, Samir.
We're trying in our company, just we're trying to see where is the point that if can we survive on 30% of our clients, the equilibrium point. We are seeing what can we do to sustain without forcing to let our employees off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very good. That's very good. Thank you, Samir. Eric, I would like to ask you the same question. Out of your existing and moving customer base, what kind of expenses do you see them cut, and do they increase in some other spendings in opposite?
In this country, which is particularly based on oil production, the economy was already pretty hard hit before this whole crisis. Mm-hmm. So starting in 2015, when the oil price went down, the economy is not growing at all. It's declining for several years already. So most of these clients, they're already not in the best position right now. Until now, nobody asked me to stop the services. But I do see some of my clients that had to lay off temporarily quite a lot of personnel because they are working for the oil and gas industry. And I believe that in the end we will have to reduce our monthly fees for this period to be loyal to them and hope that they will remain loyal to us. I don't know what to say about this, but
okay. Thank you, Eric. Sanjay, let me ask you, out of existing customer base, what kind of expenses do they cut on, and do they, in opposite, actually increase spending on some other services?
No, in India, basically, since I'm working mostly with construction and mining companies, the first thing they will try to do is, because of the cash crunch, they will try to cut on telematics, any kind of technology. They just wanted to have basic things going on for salary, a basic requirement for their site, because their site has to start running once the lockdown is over. So at this particular time, yes, we are assuming, like I'm talking to some of the construction company. Nobody is clear what will happen, what the management will take decision. But we are trying to evaluate the situation, like like some of the companies who are already are in terms of negotiation with us, who are negotiating the fuel sensors, that angle sensors, the new solutions what we were trying to provide them before lockdown. Maybe it will take some time to capitalize or to move, but somehow when I'm talking to our clients, maybe it will take a couple of months time, as I said, after the lockdown. But I think in India, the things will move. Maybe because government is trying to pump up some money. RBI also giving bank interest rates are getting down. The government of India or RBI, we are trying to pump money into the market. And as the lockdown is started from today, they have extended lockdown for 15 days, but it is not the whole lockdown. The agriculture field will work. The transport will start working from tomorrow, basically for the essential goods. So there will be some movement. Basically in construction and mining field, maybe the cash crunch will be there for a limited period of time. Not maybe the government will try to release the payment of money as fast as possible. So I think that what Indian government is trying to do, and that will help. The company to like what bank they have announced that we can defer loan payment for 3 months. That is helping a smaller companies who have taken a business loan or personal loans. Anybody who can extend their loan for another 3 months, they don't need to pay the EMI for 3 months. This definitely will help out in some way. And anyhow, yes, everybody know there is a lockdown. We have to come out of it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we have to be a positive. Nothing can be done.
Thank you, Sanjay. That's very optimistic, really. The next question I would like to ask Tony, in case if you have to leave a bit earlier. The introduction is this: cannibalism between integrators. Many integrators note that their business is becoming an endless race for a price reduction for the end customer. The same customers are constantly moving from one integrator to another, even if the benefits of such migration are quite questionable. The integrators themselves have already named this phenomenon. In Russia, we've heard this between people. They call it cannibalism. What recommendations would you give to integrators in such situations, and how do you attract and retain the companies that you serve without a significant price increase? This is not even relevant towards the crisis measures, but it's overall, in general. This is some kind of a problem that we even have had before the lockdowns, and we will have in the future. So, Tony, can you please address this question?
So I don't know exactly what's the situation in your countries, but for example, in Romania, we have a very hard situation because we also have some telecom operators that are also in the same market. So for example, you have Vodafone. Vodafone sells in Romania telematics, and they can do dumping. So cannibalism is okay, but so they can offer it for free. So it's very hard to compete with a company that has unlimited resources like Vodafone compared to us. So, what we can do is just to provide quality and to provide much better support than they do. So this is the only thing that you can offer. But also depends on the client. So there are these clients that are looking for the cheapest solution ever. So they would like to have monitoring in €3. We cannot offer something like this. Vodafone can, for example. If you are a very big client in voice, they can also in €3 give you the GPS. So it's somehow they do a super bundle package, and yeah, it's something that we are used to live with, and we put we focus on quality and customer support and I don't know, better solutions in terms of hardware. We also discuss all the time with our suppliers to give us best price, and they explain that we don't want this for us to become extremely rich, to be in Forbes, but we would just want to be competitive. So this is the key, because it's so I discuss with a lot of suppliers, and especially on our topic. So when we had visit from them in our office, we discussed about solutions, and they were also upset because these big companies also pushing them very hard on the price, and then they I don't know, buy some unknown Chinese device to install it in those €3. So everybody loses at the end. So it's important to have a good product that has stability, and that then with a good product we can go to our client and provide good services. If the product has problems, then it's very hard to provide good services, because you know what I mean. So it's a chain. So I think very important is quality, and quality of equipment and quality of support. So this all together can make a package that can make you resist cannibalism and some other other topics. Without them, and just
we agree, totally agree. Samir, let me ask you the same question. What recommendations would you give to integrators in the situations of cannibalism from other integrators, and how can you attract and retain the companies that you serve without a significant price increase?
Okay, before I answer your question, Tim, please allow me to ask Tony. Tony, who is doing the actual installation and support for Vodafone? Is it a local company, or they are doing it by themselves? Did they train their people?
They're not doing it by themselves. So maybe they have also some teams that are doing this, but they have discussing with, I don't know, if I'm an electrician, I can make my own very small company and install GPS for everybody.
Okay.
And then they have a network of guys all over the country, and they just say, go there.
Okay. In Jordan, it's a bit different. Nobody can offer the service unless to have a special license from the TRC, the Telecommunication Regulatory Committee. And there is a fee. It's around $50,000 you have to pay. Anyway, to answer your question, Tim, it is a matter of this company where it's going to position itself. Is it, like Tony said, for the sector of the market that they are always looking for prices, or you want to offer a proper service? In TrackLink years ago, and now I'm talking about pre-corona, okay? We don't know what's going to happen afterwards. The TrackLink, we took a decision that we will be a solution provider company, not only tracking service provider. So as Tony said, in order to offer a good service, a service means reliable software, reliable hardware, good after-sales support, and proper installation to minimize the headache of visiting any clients and it tends to be it's either an installation problem or a cheap device. We buy the good quality devices, and we invested in Violon in Jordan. In our region, Violon is not really cheap. It's very expensive to compare to alternatives and options we have. So our decision was to capitalize on the market that cares for a good quality business. You provide him the added value of not only tracking, analysis, reports, special reporting. We trained them to transform the features into benefits, and we did actual cases for them and showed them how an investment could be returning to them threefold their investment. And we were lucky. Most of our clients are the top major players in their sectors. We don't cover every sector. We don't cover all sectors, but we are existing in every sector in Jordan. And the top players, most of them are our clients. Mm-hmm. But recently, we've been noticing, and as Eric said, the economic situation, it's been hitting us before Corona for many reasons. In Jordan, we saw this from a couple of years ago. At the beginning, we said we will not be dealing in the areas where they call it blood ocean, who is the client who's looking only for the minimum total and the least expensive service. We provided a similar platform, let's say, and the similar devices for those kind of people who will say, oh, I have a different, much cheaper offer from this company. And we say, okay, if you want them, we have exactly the same, but you will be losing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we will be very clear to show it to them. I'm going to go back to the competition. We believe the competition will be everywhere. So, and I was expecting the big players and operators to jump in on the bandwagon because they are losing on the voice, they are losing on the SMS, and they want to utilize the infrastructure they invested for so long. I was the first company in Jordan to go and offer the #1 ISP provider to be their arm into providing the service. Their salespeople will be selling. We will be doing the consultation for the higher tier, and we do installation and we do the after sales support. And it's been working since September 2013. Other service providers did the same. That's why I asked you, Tony, who is providing this service. They went up to the other competition and made agreement to them. For them, it was big problem to go and invest in a separate department or entity for the installation, technician, electricians, the logistics to buy. No, this would be easy for them. So that's the approach we took initiative with, and we are the providers for Zain. In Jordan, #1 is Zain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. That's interesting. Thank you, Samir. Eric, let me ask you the same question. How do you deal with other cannibals in your country, who would like to steal your customers for the cheaper price? And what do you do to maintain these customers without a significant price increase?
Well, now we did not lose any customers due to price or due to quality. We invest a lot of time in knowledge about what we are doing, how we are installing in trucks, for example. And we are quick in responding if there is any issue. So we go to the client whenever there is a disconnection for whatever reason, and even if it is based on their own mistakes or they had some intervention which disconnected our device, we still go there. We repair it, and we don't invoice for this. We keep a good relationship in this way with our clients. And we know from our clients, from several of our clients, that they are approached several times already by one of our biggest competitors, but until now they refuse to leave, and they don't go for a lower price. And we already have a relatively low subscription fee on a monthly basis.
That sounds very reasonable. I would stay with you as well.
Until now, no problems at all. So.
Look, Sanjay, let me ask you the same question. How do you maintain your customer base without significant price increase? And we know that India is very competitive and a price-sensitive market as well. So what do you do without significant price increase to maintain your customer base?
I think service is the only word where I am trying to hold my clients with me for last 7 or 8 years. With my existing clients, we are facing a lot of competition. Like we have existing clients who are giving us business every year, every month. We are getting some orders. What as a businessman, what I have done is for last 5 years, we are not selling a basic telematic device. We are selling solutions. Either it is a fuel or a small automations for their factory or for their machines, but not a basic telematic or just a tracking solution. So that's why when we started with Vylon, though it is expensive, and in India, everybody is using Vylon. You find a lot of dealers who are selling Vylon application or using Vylon application. But still, what I find, there was an interesting case 6 months back. I was with a construction company. There was a meeting. They called 3 vendors at the same time, and everybody was showing Vylon application. But the kind of report which I showed on Vylon was different, but they were not able to show it. The difference is maybe they are using the Vylon, but they are not able to generate that kind of report, that kind of analysis report for the customer to understand the customer. Mm-hmm. And since I am from last 15 years, my way of doing business is like we don't have a marketing team. Whatever business I am getting every month or every year is just because of the kind of support my customer represent me, recommend me to other clients. So today I am doing a project in Nepal, sitting in India, in Kathmandu. So that's just because of the kind of service we provide and the kind of solution. Like I'm ready to. I'm telling my customer to call me directly anytime if my team doesn't answer, if they have any queries. And everybody, like, see, if anybody is investing $300, $200, $400, $300 or so much money on their telematics, they want somebody to answer their queries. The solution should be there. Yes, we have a competition. Like there are a lot. China's market is full of Chinese devices here. You will get $10 devices, telematic devices. $10 yearly subscription for software. India has a very good number of companies who are developing tracking software also, very cheap. And I have gone through all of them. But the kind of report or kind of a backup which Vylon gives us, the flexibility in generating the reports, in flexibility in adding any kind of sensors, and the kind of support they provide, I think nobody is able to do that right now. Another thing why I think, because we are only providing solutions, so it helps us. Like we can compete with a small client. And this coronavirus period, the lockdown period, I think small people like Tony said, any electrical company or anybody who knows electric work, they started doing telematics. They can go and install the GPS. It's a simple thing. But when it's come to installing a fuel sensor, it is a different thing. So that's point we have decided 5 years back that mostly we will go for a solution-based solution. We'll provide solution to our clients, which is not easy for each and everybody to go and do the installation, to understand the sensors, to do the reports. And so that's why I think we are able to sustain. Though competition will be there, whether it is a lockdown, a coronavirus or anything, it will be there. A kind of relationship you maintain with your client. And I think because I am in the market for the last 15 years, there is like I am working with some bigger client construction companies in India right now. So there is a kind of confidence the customers and the new clients are showing on me. And one more thing, what I have done is basically for last 3 years, what I am doing is my price for each and every customer is same.
Mm.
I'm not giving them like a company who's want 300 sensors. The price for a company who's going for 100 sensor price is same. So what I can do is, if they cross check with any client, I'm openly selling them that okay, this is my client. You can talk with them. You can talk with them. You can take a feedback from my service, my support, and that's I think what matter when a company who is ready to invest so much of money in telematic and fuel monitoring system. They want somebody to give service, because in India this issue was there. A lot of companies have faced a lot of they have lose a lot of money because they have gone for a cheaper solution. They have installed Chinese trackers, and end of the day nobody is answering their call. Nobody is trying to support them, because somebody who's selling a tracker on a very low cost will not able to go on the field and support them. That is true. So in that way we are trying to convince the client and saying them, yes, we have a solution, and we are ready to give them the service. And I think only the service wise we are able to sustain in the market, the
So
kind of service we provide.
I guess this is all the good integrators have in common.
Yes.
Thank you, Sanjay. Tony, I know you have some time restraints. Let us know. Is it convenient for you to continue, or
no,
should
no,
you?
I was just waiting for Sanjay to finish and to tell you that I have unfortunately to leave. And yeah, if you have a final question, I can answer, but then I have to.
Well, a quick one. Yeah, a quick one. Since you guys are integrators and everybody is in a quite tough situation, what kind of specific support measures would you like to see from your technology partner? Technology partner meaning hardware manufacturer, in this case, us or GPS tracker manufacturers. What kind of support measures would you like to see from them?
From the hardware part, it's hard to tell. Maybe it would be something interesting because yeah, if I'm looking of the way that, so right now we are purchasing equipment, so we pay in advance and then I get the merchandise. And maybe one idea is to change the way we are doing this, so so maybe not to pay everything in advance, but come up with a solution for this equipment buying. This would be something for the hardware. And from the software, as I heard, everybody is working with Vialon. They have some plan to where you can suspend units or lower the price of the units. Still, I find it hard to use. It's not that friendly as I would expect to have it. I already discussed with them several times and give them feedback, but nothing.
I think they're watching this one right now, so it's okay. We noted down the wishes, and thank you very much, Tony, for joining us. Okay, we will not hold you anymore.
Thank you, Tony. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, bye. Well, Samir, may I ask you this question then as well? What specific support measures would you like to see from your technological partners in this particular crisis situation? I know, right?
It has to be reconsidering the prices that is being given to us. I mean, we've been talking about this issue for so long, and at this case, it's not only we were trying to really reflect how we suffer in our areas, but for them it was very difficult because they are seeing figures and numbers coming from different parts of the world where some markets are really blooming and promising, and extra very good numbers of units being implemented. But this problem is all over the world, and it's going to be the same results for everybody. In order to stay in this business, I have to minimize all my expenditures. I have to take care of my cash flow, because if I go out of the business, they will lose my business. or if I will be not
Very
being
true.
able to pay their price tag, I will be looking into alternatives and strategies. As I said, it's built to provide the best service in the country. But if the majority of my country or the clients of my country for a certain period of time will not appreciate a good service, and they also are looking to make sure they are living, and they will be choosing the very bare minimum, I have to accommodate them. I will not accept my clients to move to the competition and keep saying I'm number one in Jordan. I will be not really being agile to the market, what the forces being played in the market nowadays. So basically, my answer will be prices.
Okay, well that's reasonable. I do agree, and I also noted it down. Eric, what kind of specific support measures would you expect from your technological partners?
I don't see much more that you are already doing, because I think we have a very good relationship, and there is a lot of technical support from your part. When starting with the Bluetooth sensors in the beginning, we had some issues, but I think we worked it out together with Teltonica. Of course, I can ask for lower pricing, but I think you're already quite competitive with a good product. So I don't see anything more in that to gain. And I don't need it at this moment. Maybe later on, when we go in the new market, as I told you about, I'd like to get some support, but that will maybe be on another side. But I would like to discuss that with you later.
Okay.
For the moment,
yeah,
I don't see anything that you can do except for maybe finding a vaccine against this virus.
I wish we could.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric. Mr. Sanjay, what about you? What kind of specific measures of support would you expect from your technology partner? And not only us, we're talking about, but basically, anybody, the GPS supplier, software supplier as well.
No, here I will agree with Mr. Samir. In India, dollar hedge increased to 77 or 78. It's almost 15% more what we were used to pay before lockdown. And yesterday or day before yesterday, when I spoken to my bank manager, they are not looking very good. Like they are accepting that this price will remain for another 2 or 3 months. It will not go down because Indian government is borrowing money from outside during this crisis period for another 6 months. The dollar price will be increasing. So this increases my cost. Ultimately, for a wild on or a escort fuel sensor or a quick link or a naval or tape telecom device, anything, this is increasing my cost to minimum to 10 to 15%. And that 10 to 15%, I don't think this is a time where we can pass it on to our customer right now for a new order or something, because they are looking for a reducing in the cost, not increasing in the cost. So price is only the concern, I think, which a hardware manufacturer can look into it, or a Wylon can look into it. Apart from that, I think no, we are using the best hardware and the software, so we don't need anything.
That's great. Thank you very much. I have a question from our listeners, and I think this one is two of them are quite interesting. One of them is addressed to Mr. Samir. Let me announce it. What kind of network are you using for IoT, telematics solution, GSM operators, or private LTE or NB IoT network? What about regulatory issue about setting up your own network dedicated to IoT to bypass mobile operators? Well, and to other speakers as well. Well, I guess what the question is about, let's start first. Do you set up your own IoT network, or it's not the case?
I already answered this. I am not Yeah, I'm using already available service. I'm using the ISP's 2G data plans. But in Jordan, I have to apply for the license, as I said. And the number one condition is to host the data in within Jordan. We cannot use the cloud services. So we have our own data center. We have all the IT infrastructure that supports it, maintains it, generators, monitoring, backup, etc., etc. We host it in our company. So I'm only utilizing already available service from the ISPs, which is the 2G and also the internet connectivity, which in my case is the dedicated microwave connection.
Okay, I see. There's one more question. Let me ask Mr. Sanjay this question. The oil prices do go down, but so does the purchase power of the majority of people. Regardless of what country they live in. So you can expect the number of fuel theft increase. Would you expect an increase in interest for telematics products as well?
Yes, there will be interest in increasing the telematics requirement. Definitely, the clients will be, but it will entirely depend upon us. Like I tell you, in India, still there are a lot of, I think 75% of the people are not using telematics still, and the major reason for them, either they don't know it, they don't understand it. So to convince them, and this 75%, it will take bit time. But yes, because I am approaching some transporters now. Like I have changed my segment from construction to mining. I am approaching some transporters. They are showing interest. But there the problem is, like, they don't understand telematics. They don't even understand the computers. So we have to set up a dedicated person for them who can send them a report and who can tell them that, okay, sir, there is a theft. This kind of fuel filling is done yesterday. So that kind of service we need to provide. But yes, again, there I said in the beginning, yes, there will be increase in the number of telematics. The people will go for it. Because one of my clients last year, when I met them, they are into financial crunch right now for last 5 or 6 months. But I went and I met their MD last year. They have installed around 600 fuel sensor from us last year, and they have saved around 1 million to 2 million and 1 crore, 2 million something. They have saved amount of money. So people are optimistic, like they understand the telematics if they start using it. But yes, it is the way how you pitch it. The requirement is always there. The requirement is there, but it's depend how fast or how to convince them, basically.
Thank you, Sanjay. Same question for Eric. Do you expect the fuel thefts to amount to be increased in some future, and perhaps the necessity for installation of the monitoring system?
Fuel theft is quite normal.
Yeah, I think we lost.
In this country, especially by the. I'm there.
Yes.
It says my internet connection is unstable.
Okay, now it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So fuel theft here is a pretty normal thing. Everybody thinks he has the right to take something for himself. Where we installed fuel sensors, we blocked it completely until now. Some clients where we do monitoring, we notify them all the time when we find some stealing. I don't know. Also for generators, we have installed quite a number of generators. So when they supply fuel, also at supply side, there's a lot of fuel theft. So instead of delivering 1,000 liters, they deliver 800 liters, and 200 liters go back into their own fuel tank. I don't know if it will increase. We do our best to stop it. And this is a small country, so we only have 5 million inhabitants. The market is relatively small. The number of trucks that are driving here is not that big. We are managing to stop quite a lot at this moment.
That's
also,
great.
We also found quite a lot of quite a number of locations where there is fuel theft. So the truck drivers go to a certain location, and we know that they drain the fuel tank over there. So we put a geographic zone around it, and whenever somebody is going into there, we get notified immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we try to do it.
Yes. Perfect. With your expertise, perhaps you may expand in the future, if you think.
That's what we are intending to do, but of course, at this moment, with all the borders locked, we can't go anywhere else except for even not out of our own garden. So, but we intend to go somewhere else.
It will be open soon.
Yes.
The same question I want to ask Samir. With oil prices go down, so does the purchase power of the majority of people, regardless of what country they live in. So can you expect the number of fuel thefts increase? And would you expect an increase in interest for telematics products in this case?
There is a funny situation in Jordan. Oil has a luxury tax on it to generate more income to the government, because in Jordan, it's although it's very close to the GCC countries, Jordan has no oil. So our budget is 80% based on taxation. So the current, unfortunately, the current fuel prices that went very low, we are not benefiting from it, and we expect the conditions about the prices of the fuel will be the same. To answer the specifics of the question, I will answer it in a different way. As I said before, TrackLink has been in business since 2005. Until last year, the number of fuel level sensors that I sold last year, which is around less than 300 sensors, equals 3 times more the number of sensors that we sold the 13 years before. It was not really an issue in Jordan, and people were trying to control the theft in a calculation way. They were trying to find better solutions rather than investing into actual probes and sensors within their tanks. Recently, it took us a long time to keep on pushing, and luckily the prices of the fuel level sensors went down to a level that the major players are now convincing to invest on those sensors and really seeing the value of it. At a certain time, we spread around 70 sensors free of charge for our clients to really feel the benefit coming out of it. We decided that we have to, because we see the value, but we could not really convince the clients that they have to pay extra for a fuel level sensor. So we went ahead and sent around 70 level sensors for clients to really live with it for a few months, and for them to see the actual benefit coming out of it. And it's been working. I hope the momentum will keep on going.
That's great. That's great to hear. And it leads us to the last questions I want to ask all of you guys. But let's start with Samir. Where would you go first, and what will you do when the lockdown is over?
Well, lockdown over, or this pandemic is finished?
Well, let's say everything
the lockdown, because I have a special permit, I can move freely.
Oh. So
the lockdown is not really affecting me. I went to the office yesterday. We had a small meeting with the people in there. Some of us have special permits. I go see my mom. But if what I will do when this pandemic is over I have 2 kids living, one in the US and one in the UK. I would love to go and see them. This is what I would do.
That's perfect.
Or
So
have them come over.
You're gonna get on the plane when the borders are open. That's Eric, what will you do first when the pandemic or lockdown or anything is over? When you can cross the borders, get on a plane?
First, get a nice beer at the beach, of course, which we do normally here quite often, and then go to my homeland.
Nice.
Where I've not been for quite a long time, so I need to go there.
That's nice. That's good plans. And Sanjay, what will be your actions when everything is over? What will you do?
Yeah, nothing. I was just trying to spend go out for
and start a new market.
Yeah, we go out with the friends. Sit in a restaurant or somewhere in a park. That's all.
That's nice. That's nice. This is something that we all miss, you know, human interaction. It's even here we want to go to office, you know, and now we have to stay home. But yes, I think on this positive note that everything will be over soon. We just have to maintain, you know, positivity. We have to do the calculations. We have to follow some of the advices that we have heard from our fellow integrators in this session today. Hopefully we'd be able to, you know, this is the first English meetup as we ever made. And I think it actually came out pretty good. So I would like to say thank you very much. Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Eric, for joining us in this session. Thank you very much for your valuable opinions. Let me check. We don't have any more questions. We will have a recording of this session. You know, available later on YouTube. And I think this is it. We actually approached 1 hour mark, which is pretty good. At the maximum, we had about 45 viewers of us talking. And thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody. Be safe and hope we'll see you in an event.
Thanks.
Actual event.
Yes, actually, but yes.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Sanjay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Renat, you can switch off the